Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. I got my free shirt on. Y'all see my free 1865, circa 1865 shirt. Hope all is well with you guys on this morning. All is well with me, as well as it can be, I should say. So let me just say, in way of introduction or announcement, I should say, if you have any prayer requests you would like us to lift at the end of this broadcast, please post those in the comments. Please post those in the comments. And then also, if you have not registered for our Experiencing God virtual class that's coming up, please go to our church Facebook page. You can see the link there to register for that class. We'd love for you to be a part of that virtual experience. Now, let me just be honest this morning, y'all. Let me be honest because I'm still a bit messed up behind this whole Breonna Taylor situation. And as I told you on yesterday, that we need to have in this season some courage. And I talked about we need to have courage to rise and to face the struggles that we see of racism in our society on today. And it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy how we are in another election season and we're still trying to figure out when was America ever great for all people. And if you're like me, you wrestle with the thought, with this thought of America being great. Because if you're like me, you wonder if it was great, if it was ever great. You wrestle with this thought that if it was it great on September 23rd, 1955, when the killers of Emmett Till were acquitted? Because if it was, why didn't it feel great 65 years later on the anniversary of that same date, uh, September 23rd, 2020, just a few days ago, when Breonna Taylor's killers were acquitted? And so this morning, y'all, I echo the thoughts and the sentiments of the great Dr. Martin Luther King, who, when he spoke, I think it was in 1967, 65, at Stanford University, he said that when he looked at America, he saw that there must be, or this thought of America being great, that there must be uh, two Americas. There has to be two Americas. And he said there's this one America that's beautiful. It overflows with prosperity and opportunity. He said that there's this one America that has millions of people that have enough food, enough money, and enough material possessions for their bodies. He says in this America, there's education, there's freedom, there's human dignity. He says that in this America, there are millions of people that experience the opportunity of having life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness to their full extent. But then, in contrast of this America, he says there's another America, and this America ain't that beautiful. In fact, he says it's downright ugly. He says in this other America, hope has been turned into despair. And in this other America, he says, America, there are poor people by the millions. He says, in this other America, there are people perishing. And like this, he says, on an island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. But he also says that he maintains a hope in the midst of this America, this ugly America that he experiences this, in the hope, even when he says that there are some folks that can't be trusted, he still has a hope that the tensions between these two Americas can be resolved. But he says for this to happen, we all have to join. But I like this, y'all. He says we have to join the coalition of conscious. In other words, he says that there should be and there is something on the inside of all humanity, no matter what your hue, that operates the same. He calls it a moral compass to guide all of us to the same end. And when we look at what's going on around us, the task looks so daunting that many of us give up before we ever get going. We quit before we ever start. And this is what I want to say to us this morning. God is calling us to do something in this season. God is calling us to a coalition of conscience. He's calling us to speak truth to power. He's calling us to be change agents in the culture. And let me just pause, unless you think this is just for those of us that carry the mantle of preaching or carry mantles of leadership. No, this is for all of us that God has given breath in our lungs. He's calling us to stand up for those whose voice has been silenced. I don't care what area of society you find yourself in, there is something that you can do. There's something that God is calling you to do. He's calling all of us to rise up from the dungeon of do nothingism. He's calling us to purpose. Now, listen, I did something on yesterday. I showed a little video, and so I want to show a video, a little short clip. I want to show a little short clip, and I think this short clip will give us what we stand in need of in this season to do what it is that God is calling us to do in this season. Will you just bear with me just from about 3-minute video? I want to show you 3-minute video. I want to show you. Watch this.
I was working at a well-known hotel. I've told you this, probably some of you know this story. Well-known hotel. And I was growing at the hotel, climbing the corporate ladder at this particular hotel. And one day, I had a dream, and in the dream, the Lord said, today you will resign. Today you will resign from your job. I was a single mom at the time. I didn't have a plan B. Didn't have a backup plan to work on my behalf. But God said, today you will resign from your job. I remember waking up out of that sleep saying, there's no way. I can't do this. I started giving God all the reasons why this is impossible and it's not going to work. Because you see, I have a felony record, God. No one is going to hire me. And I got hired at a hotel that is renowned. And you're asking me to give that up? And I'm a single mother? Today, Nadine, you will resign from your job. I pulled into that, I dropped my daughter off to school, and I pulled into that parking lot where I usually park. And I remember squeezing the steering wheel. And I said, God, I love you, but I can't. I don't have any plans. I don't have anyone. And God was...
Okay, I hear y'all can't hear the video. Is that y'all couldn't hear that? No one can hear that sound in the video. I sure hate that. I surely, really, I hate that you could not hear that sound. Let me see if I could do something different here to let you hear that sound. Hang on just a second. Let me see if I can help you hear that sound.
I was working at a...
All right, let me try something here. Hang on, bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Hope I can see, y'all can see that. Can y'all see that video? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to try to share it this way.
I was working at a well-known hotel. I've told you this, probably some of you know this story. Well-known hotel. And I was growing at the hotel, climbing the corporate ladder at this particular hotel. And one day, I had a dream, and in the dream, the Lord said, today you will resign. Today you will resign from your job. I was a single mom at the time. I didn't have a plan B. Didn't have a backup plan to work on my behalf. But God said, today you will resign from your job. I remember waking up out of that sleep saying, there's no way. I can't do this. I started giving God all the reasons why this is impossible and it's not going to work. Because you see, I have a felony record, God. No one is going to hire me. And I got hired at a hotel that is renowned. And you're asking me to give that up? And I'm a single mother? Today, Nadine, you will resign from your job. I pulled into that, I dropped my daughter off to school, and I pulled into that parking lot where I usually park, and I remember squeezing the steering wheel. And I said, God, I love you, but I can't. I don't have any plans. I don't have anyone. And God was silent because he knew what you have is all you need, and that's me. But in the moment, come on, somebody, y'all know that in the moment you're not thinking like that, right? All you know is what you're feeling in that moment. And I remember going into my office, and my supervisor came walking by. And she said to me, good morning. And I said, good morning, Alice. And she stopped. I heard her feet stop. And then she started stepping back. And my office was here, my desk was here. And she looked at me a little strange. And she said, Nadine, do you have something you need to tell me? And you know what I said? No, ma'am. I sure don't. She said, sure you do, sugar. Come into my office. I stepped into that woman's office and I resigned from my job. Her face was contorted. She wasn't expecting that. She was so disappointed and so upset after she's given me a chance. And she kept telling me how no one will hire me, how I was going to be. Matter of fact, she said to me, what kind of God will ask someone to leave the only job that they have and they're a single mother? And in my mind, I'm thinking, you are absolutely right. What kind of God? She said, no one will hire you. The last thing I said to Alice that day was, you did. And as you did, God will call someone to. That was on Wednesday. On Friday, I got a call from this church. On Sunday, I was being interviewed in one of the classrooms upstairs. On Monday, I was working at this church. That was 19 years ago. I'm trying to tell you that when you are called and you are purposed, the enemy will try to attach fear to that area. And oftentimes what God is calling you to do is going to be packaged in difficulty. And you're going to need courage to step into what God is calling. On the other side of your fear is your greatest destiny. Come on, somebody. On the other side of your fear is your purpose waiting on you, sitting there with legs crossed, waiting for you to get there. But we have to operate in courage.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Listen. How'd y'all like that? You like that? You like that? Listen. What it is that God is calling us to do in this season won't be easy. It won't be easy. Because see, watch this. Oftentimes, when God is calling us to do something that's attached to our purpose, the enemy tries to block what God is calling us to, because what he's calling us to is connected to our breakthrough or to the breakthrough for somebody else. Listen, I remember one time I got the privilege not too long ago to preach uh, for a friend of mine. Uh, and as I preached, I got to a place in the sermon where I began to play. If y'all know me, I believe that Frankie Beverly is really a gospel group. So I got to a place in the sermon where I was playing a Frankie Beverly song to make my point. And the First Lady Emeritus got up when I did this and walked out of the sanctuary. I knew the church had been traditional in the past, but the new pastor was more progressive and said that it was okay for me to use the illustration. Well, when she did this, y'all, the emotion that arrested me was rejection. And for weeks, now nobody knew this, but for weeks, I wrestled with this emotion of rejection, thinking that I I had failed, thinking that maybe I should be doing something else. This wasn't that long ago. So as I began to doubt God and the gift that God had given, uh, uh, and we in this pandemic, y'all, we in this pandemic. And so I began to doubt because I haven't really seen a whole lot of growth in the church since this pandemic. And since we've been in this pandemic, whatever I preach or whatever we play on Saturday is replayed throughout the week that follows. So we played this sermon, and on the last showing of this sermon, which was on a Thursday night, y'all, I got a message from a lady that was the sister of one of my buddy's wife, well, ex-wife, that I fell out with, y'all. I fell out with this sister years earlier. Years earlier, I fell out with this sister over some thoughts I had about the wedding and how it was handled. But she watched the rebroadcast this particular Thursday on Instagram, and after she watched it, she messaged me, and she said these words. She says, "That message blessed me." Listen, y'all, I hadn't talked to this lady in over 5 years. I hadn't spoken to her. We fell out, y'all. And it was in this moment that I began to think about what one of my mentors, Pastor Troy Johnson, always says to me. When I get down on myself and I go to him for counsel, he always asks me a question before he will help me. He won't help me at all, y'all, until I answer this question. And I get tired of this question, y'all. Don't y'all tell him, but I get tired of this question. And here's the question. The question is, what story are you telling yourself? What story? He won't answer anything. He won't help me at all. When I go to him for counsel, he won't say a word to me. I'll tell him the issue, and he will say in response, he won't even address the issue until I answer this question. What story are you telling yourself? When I began to think about that question, I also began thinking about all the times before that I felt rejected and how God had brought me through those moments. And I ain't got time to really go through all of those things. I get choked up just thinking about it. And I don't know who I'm talking to. Uh, uh, but the place that the enemy attacks most is often our place of belief. What is it that you believe? That's the question. What is it when trials and hardships and issues arise in your life and around your life? The question becomes, What is it that you believe? What story are you telling yourself? Because the enemy attacks us at the place of our belief. That's why in the garden, Satan asked Eve, did God really say that you can't eat from any tree in the garden? He was trying to attack what story she believed. Did she really believe what she believed? And that is the place that the enemy always tries to attack us. And I don't know what story you've been telling yourself, but it's time to rise from the dungeon of your doubt. It's time to answer that still small voice that you keep hearing in the back of your mind. When God is calling us, God is calling us in this season. So my question to you this morning is, what is God calling you to do in this season? On the back, for me, you're on the back of hearing all that transpired in the case of Breonna Taylor. God is calling me to do some different things in this season. And I want to know, well, not me, but you need to understand what it is that God is calling you to do in this season. I know whatever God is calling you to do in this season is not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. But Paul told us in 2 Corinthians 4:16, he said to us, don't lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, it looks like we are dying. And folks that are viewing us that don't know really what God is doing on the inside of us, they think that we're dying. We look like we're wasting away. But Paul says, yet on the inward parts of our body, we are being renewed day by day. Listen, y'all, I'm going to share this one illustration. I'm gone. Alaska is known. Alaska is known for having a beautiful flower known as a fireweed. This fireweed epitomizes what I believe is the believer's journey. It is symbolic, and if you really think about it, it's symbolic of the believer's journey. This multifaceted flower blooms, or let me just say it can be used when it blooms. After it blooms, it can be used for a lot of things that ail us. It can be used in many cases as a salve, of a soothing salve to cure insect bites and cuts and even eczema. It's also been used as a tea remedy for coughs and asthma and upset stomachs. This flower has also been used to make honey and jelly. I know y'all like jelly on your biscuit. I know you like that. But however, these delicate purple pink blossoms only come out after they've experienced some extreme heat. They're only found on the side of mountains. I mean, on the side of volcanoes, which is how it got its name. Fireweeds bloom after fire. See, in the aftermath, when the smoke clears and the earth cools, the fireweed emerges from the blackened and scorched earth, giving the side of the landscape on the side of the volcano a brand new look. Well, just like God allows fireweeds to bloom after fire, he also calls us to bloom in the aftermath of the fiery trials we go through in life. And so I'm wondering this morning, y'all, where are the fireweeds? God had me log on this morning to look for the fireweeds. I can't see it, but I can see your comments. And I'm wondering, are there any fireweeds on this live broadcast this morning? Where are the fireweeds? Where are the folks that are like me, that are tired of being sick and tired? Where are the folks like me that life sometimes deals a bad hand? Where are the modern day Hebrew boys that have been baptized in the fiery furnaces of life? Where are the fire weeds. I'm looking for you this morning. I know it's painful. I know it's uncomfortable. I know at times it seems unbearable, but don't trip because, baby, you were made for this kind of stuff. Why? Because you are a fire weed. There will be, watch this, y'all, there will be victory after this. I don't know what you're going through, but there will be victory after this. I don't know why that song started playing. I don't know why. I can't even turn it off. I can't. Where's the volume? It messed me all up. It's a good song. I was listening to it this morning. I don't know where the volume at, y'all. I don't know where the. Oh, there you go. There you go. I don't know. I was listening to that this morning, y'all, as I was preparing this. But there will be victory. I'm just going to let it keep on playing. There will be victory after this. I mean, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing for the next 3 minutes. Just begin to tell yourself the story that you are a fireweed and there will be victory after this. I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know what God is calling you to do in this particular season, but you are a fireweed. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be rough, but you were made for this. There will be victory after this. Tell yourself, this is my season. Tell yourself, this is my season for favor. Go ahead and hug yourself. Give yourself a high five. Tell yourself, this is my season to reap everything that I've sown. Tell yourself, it's going to work. Everything that I've been through, all the hardships, all the heartache, all of the death, all of the unanswered questions that I have about life, everything is going to work in this season for my good. It's good. It's good, y'all. I had to tell myself it was good. I was diagnosed with COVID. It was good, y'all, that they talked about me. It was good that they walked out on me. It was good. I got to tell myself a different story because I thought it was bad back then. It was good that they said I wasn't going to make it. It was good that they laughed at me. It was good, y'all. And right now, it's working. All of those things that I've been through, it's working. And all of the things that you have been through, it's working for your good. Everything is working. It's working. It may not look like it right now, but it's working. I don't understand Brianna's case. I don't understand what's going on in my society right now. But it's working. I got to believe that it's working. I got to believe that God can still turn it around. I got to believe that, y'all. I've got to believe that God is able. I've got to believe that God is going to take everything the devil meant for bad and turn it around for my good. There will be victory after this. Father, we thank you. That's it, God. We just thank you for all that you have done and all that you will do, because we know that it will be victory after this. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless y'all. God bless y'all. We love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Amen. Goes there.